Do 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 do. What's that? Wait a second. That's me. So how does this work? Do I call LA or do they call me? It's so bad. Thanks to you guys over there at Epic TV. Pretty cool to see my stuff getting all the way to the other side of the pond. You might have to work on the way you say beta though. It's beta, data, and don't let me get started on the way you say aluminum. So anyway, today's project, if you're anything like me, you got a whole bunch of different hangboards just collecting dust. So today I'm gonna show you how to pimp your hangboard and make a totally modular system where you could switch out hangboards probably in less than a minute or two. So let's get started in today's project and let's get right into it. Okay, so here's the game plan. If you're new to this whole game, let me explain a few things first. So, if you buy climbing holds, professional climbing holds, what they're gonna come with and the way they're gonna be set is with this type of nut. It has little teeth on it, and you drill a hole through the board that's the same diameter, same size as this circle in here on this nut, and it's gonna go in the back, and then your climbing hold's gonna go on, and then this type of bolt, which is an Allen key bolt, is gonna come in here and pull this tooth part into the board. Then once that's in there, you have a bolt that's permanently in there, and you can just take this bolt in and out and switch out climbing holds easily, safely, without any fuss. So we're gonna turn our hangboards into climbing holds where we could just make them, just put them up there, bolt them in with these, and then take them off, put them on, switch it around, whatever you want to do. So that's what our project's gonna be now. I'm gonna show you how we do that. What we're gonna have to do first is I'm gonna have to get this laying down flat on the floor and mark up exactly where I want it. I know I want it about this height where I don't really have to jump too far off the ground, but where my feet aren't touching the ground either. So let's get into that right now. Okay, so first things first, I want it around here in this area. So we're gonna remove all these climbing holds from here all the way up to there. And if you want to do this quickly, do yourself a favor and get a drill bit where it's also an Allen key so you can remove these super fast. Okay, so that's right about where I want it. So what we're gonna do is I bought another piece of plywood here, which is 4 foot by 2 foot and 3/4 of an inch thick. You want a thick one because you want the screws for this to have something to hold on to. We're then gonna drill holes through this to match up with these holes so we could add it and put it on and off really quickly. I also am gonna make a smaller version for this little one so I could add that and on real quick too whenever I want to. So let's do some measurements and some cutting. Okay, so we have our boards cut now for our hangboards to sit on, just like that. Now what we have to do is we have to turn them into climbing holds. And the way we're gonna do that is we're gonna have to drill holes right through this to match up perfectly with the bolts that are behind it. And to do that, you might be thinking you'd have to measure exactly where these holes are in 2D space, and then hopefully they line up. And if you try that method, it's probably not gonna work at all. So there's two ways to do it the easier way, and maybe the only way. I don't even think you'd ever get it to match up perfectly. But anyway, what you're gonna do is, there's two methods, a sloppier method and hopefully a cleaner method I'm gonna try. You could take screws and once you get this in place, I'm not gonna bother telling you what my measurements are because for every hangboard it's gonna be different. You're gonna get this in place and then you could just put 2 screws just to hold it there. Then you could flip it around, pop those nuts out the back and drill right through. Well, you don't wanna blow right through because if you blow right through, you might drill into your floor, and also if you blow through, it's gonna blow chips out and leave it a nasty finish. So you just wanna mark it with your drill where it is. You can then take this out and go somewhere cleaner, finish it off, come almost all the way through. When the bit starts to show, come around the other way and finish her off and go through the other way. The only problem is if you're gonna use screws, you're gonna be left with holes in here. And if you don't care about that, then that's fine. I mean, some of these climbing holds here, they even have spots for you to put screws so that they don't spin. So if you're fine with having some screw holes, then that's fine. I'm gonna try, I never tried this before, I'm gonna attempt it, but so I don't leave screw holes in here because I'm a maniac. I'm gonna try just duct taping this in place, and my plan is if I duct tape it in place long enough for it not to move and to flip over and then sit on this weighted, so that nothing moves. Once this is weighted, I could come over with my drill and just mark the holes, and it'd be the same thing as using a screw, except I won't have screw holes in there. So that's the next thing, so let's do that. Welcome to the dark side of the moon. So I could already tell that I made a bit of a boo-boo here, because I think what would have been a better idea, would have been smarter, is if I took this bolt and I just put it in a little bit on the other side like that, and maybe tapped them. That way I could tap these things out, because these things are in there like swimwear, so that's pretty difficult to get out. But I'm gonna have to work on these, get these things out. So yeah, tap those things out. If this is the first time you're drilling holes, it's gonna make everything a lot easier if you just drilled through the hangboard board and then through this at the same time. That would just make life so much easier. But I'm going back and doing this, so I'm gonna have to pop these things out. You want to keep your wife happy? Clean as you go. Okay, we might have gotten away with murder here. Let's find out. Lovely. The world, the sky is falling. The sky's falling. Let's see. Looks like it didn't move anywhere. I'm gonna write top right here, just so I don't forget. That's the top. All right, we have our 4 holes. So I'm gonna finish these off, drill them all the way through. Well, come a little bit and then start for the other side so we don't have blowouts. So I'm gonna do that now. Okay, so we screwed the holes in all our wood, and I've got one bolted up here already. So the next step is we take one of our hangboards and we're gonna have to put it up here, and we're gonna have to grab a level. This is where you wanna level it. You don't wanna screw it in on the ground because it won't be level. So you now get it up here and you put a level cross and you screw it. Now, another thing is, you wanna get the right size screws because you don't wanna screw this to this. So if your screws are too long, then you're gonna have to screw it till you find where it's gotta go, and then take it off, screw it all the way through, and then you could nip off on the other side. You can nip the pointy end off the other side. Hope that makes sense. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna level this out, screw this one in, and then screw in the next one, and then I guess I could show you the finished project. So let's do that. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here's the finished product right here. Take note of the washers. You want washers also. You want to get the right washers for this bolt. But here it is, all hanged up, leveled up, and screwed in. And the screws, after I screwed it through, I chopped off the pointy ends with a grinder. So let's see how fast I could switch this out for another hangboard. Let's put it on the clock. Ready, set, go. Let's see. This is a heavy one too. Wasting time, wasting time, wasting time, wasting time. we go. Finished. So, as you know, what's really cool about this thing is not only is it a hangboard now, but I could adjust it so the hangboard is positioned out here, which gives me always different angles, so I'm not always using the same angle all the time. And it works pretty good. Another thing I could do, another project that I could do is make it so that even when this is at a 45 degree, I could make it so that this comes out. But that's a project for another time, another episode. If you like this, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll keep them coming. Likes and comments always help with the algorithm, so we'll just keep on growing if you do that. I appreciate it. And I guess stay healthy and keep climbing. See you guys in the next episode. I'll add one more thing that's pretty cool about doing this too, is if I ever get another hangboard, like maybe that size or maybe this size, if I get another one, I don't have to do that whole flipping it over and taping it, everything. This is already my template. So I could get another piece of plywood and I could just use this, or I could use that to drill the holes through. I don't have to mess with this whole big thing. And then I could just put this up there, the new one up there, and then screw it level to that. So that's another cool thing. I don't have to do this whole process over again. I could just use this as my template. If you also wanted to do that on, like, let's say there, like if you obviously don't have a climbing wall like this, you could always do that on that as well. So, I mean, it works both ways. You can make one of those so it has these bolts in it, and then you could just switch those out whenever you want real quick. So there's always that too. So I hope you enjoyed this episode, like I said, and I'll see you next week. Josh Perry, climbing out of here. I almost didn't climb out of this episode. Almost forgot. Later. Oh. I don't even know if my mic is on. Bye.